And we're back. This is everything for the month of April 2024. As always, pretty nice stack. Lots of good books in here. Nothing that I feel is on the fence of maybe getting cut from my pile, but we'll see as we go through. I also got a couple of free comic book day books as well. So, yeah, kicking things off, Energon, Energon Universe book, but Transformers, number 7. This is with the new artist, Jorge Corona, I'll say. I hope I'm pronouncing his first name correctly. His art style actually does kind of matching what Daniel Warren Johnson was doing. A little more darker in some of the lines and the inking. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It does kind of match the Transformers. He's pretty good at drawing robots. That's kind of the big thing if you're drawing Transformers. But this book is mostly focused on the aftermath of the first arc. So, Starscream's being confronted by the Decepticons, is not quite being a leader. Soundwave takes over, which is kind of cool. RC has a talk with Carly about just how things are going since, her dad was killed by Starscream. RC tells a cool story about just fighting alongside Cybertron, being saved by Ultra Magnus, and, just what it's like to be here and have to make those choices. It's kind of one thing I really like about this arc is it's very much tying into the idea of the Transformers have been at war for centuries, and what would that have on you, just in terms of the PTSD, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, kind of ends with just Optimus saying you know what, we've got what we need. We've taken back the arc. We can start making Energon. We can start powering up. We're taking the fight to the Decepticons now. So should be pretty good. And Optimus still has Megatron's arm, which is pretty rad. They haven't quite fixed that yet. I think there's a shot back here where Wheeljack is in tank treads, he's missing the lower half of his body right now. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, still liking it. Made it past issue 6. I'm a big Daniel Warren Johnson fan, so I'm sticking with this one. I Hate Fairyland, issue 13. This is I think all the stories right now are kind of one and dones, which I really enjoy a one and done. But basically, Gert sells the movie rights to her life, and these, kind of a stereotypical Hollywood producers take it on and try to rewrite and, change it to what it is. And yeah, it's just kind of one long gag about how you shouldn't sell out. And then when they finally see the movie at the end, it's pretty off of what her life is. It makes her out more of a hero, which is fine. She never got to play her. Kurt thought she'd play herself in the movie, but now she's played by this big, sexy lady. And I forget the fly's name right now, actually, but he's the hero. It's just great. It's a nice, really funny kind of story. And the next month they hint at the Gerts that from the parallel dimensions maybe coming back. Zombie Gerts. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, still in Fairyland. Great book. Void Rivals. It's back. Our heroes are on the run still. They're kind of running through this section of the planet that's kind of a dead zone, I guess. Nobody survives there for long, but it's kind of their only choice to reach the dudes. I can't remember these two names. The dude's side of the planet, basically, and they're being chased by this ultimate warrior who I think is the brother of the female antagonist. Pretty sure that's what they feel like they're hinting at. Yeah, they kind of go through a fight. Things happen, and then it looks like that she might be hurt. She's definitely hurt. She's not gonna die. There we go. Solia. So Solia might be hurt. She might be dead. I doubt that. It's a comic book. You gotta end it on a page like that, and then we'll see how it goes. But I'm liking it. They do hint the next issue a Transformer will show up. It's in the cover here, but we'll see if that's... Well, I'm sure he's on the cover. It'll show up, right? But yeah, still enjoying Void Rivals. Good book. The Sacrificers is back with a new arc, issue 7. This one's... I enjoyed this issue. I was kind of hesitating there, but I really like this one. It's digging more into just seeing the effects. I guess it's a bit more world building. I should say effects, but this one clan who had the Orchid daughter from the first arc, who is a true believer of the Sacrificers and what the Sacrificers are meant to do. Her people are basically drowning and being destroyed. They summon their god to help out, and he's just kind of a typical D-bag. He's just yeah, you want some help? I'll show you help, and then kind of ends up destroying them. But then we see the daughter of the sun and moon on the run. I wouldn't say she's completely powerless. She's definitely weak, but she's just like in a world she doesn't understand. She eats some food, it doesn't agree well with her. She's chased by some sort of creature, and then she falls off a cliff. So we'll kind of see where that goes. But yeah, we haven't seen much of Pigeon in this issue, but again, I'm a big Rick Remender fan. I think not everything he does I think is like a banger. I do really like all his stuff though, but so far this is good. I'm waiting to see where this goes. Usagi Yojimbo. What can I say? I love Usagi Yojimbo. Usagi and his cousin down from the mountains. They meet a swordman who is being attacked, so they help him out. This swordsman has a pet crow. They end up in a town. They meet some of Usagi's old friends, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we've been trying to find this guy who's on the run, who's got a huge bounty, and he has a crow." So like, "Oh, we actually we fought that guy." But his cousin, Usagi's cousin, does not like the idea of being a bounty hunter. It doesn't feel as true to the samurai code, which I guess it's not, but you know, Usagi's a Ronin, so. But we'll see where it goes. Again, super fun. I love Usagi Yojimbo. Zoro, Man of the Dead. This is the final issue of this Sean Gordon Murphy book. Kind of picks up where our hero Diego appeared to be dead. He's just shot. He's fine. You know, it's comic books. From there, you know, the town rallies around him, and they defend their town, and yeah, defeat the bad guy. That's pretty good. It was a great shot. Oh yeah, I was gonna say right here, Zoro decapitates the cartel leader, and the blood makes a Z. Man, love that shot. And yeah, it kind of ends, and then he kind of rides off. People are rebuilding the town, and it's just kind of like, you know, no matter what, the town always have a protector, whether that be Diego or Rosa. And then yeah, that's the ending. Interesting, fun. Is a fun book. Yeah, again, big Sean Gordon Murphy fan. It's not like I'm a huge Zorro fan. I've seen a couple movies growing up, but yeah, it was a fun book. 4 issues, good length. You know, everything was a nice tight story. Nothing dragged on too much. The Whisper Queen, a Black Sand Tale. I got a book within this Black Sand Tale a long time ago. The White Trees. Geez, it's got to be at least 2 years now. It was like a single issue. It's by Chip Zdarsky. Chris Anka does the art. It's all takes place in a fantasy world. And the first book was about this couple and their friend. I think they're on the run. But yeah, this is not just a one shot. This is going to be, I think, 3 or 4 issues. I can't flip through this book too much because this is a mature title. They're like, not just outside violence. I'm like, there's some nudity, and by some I mean there's a couple of pages of a lot of it. But yeah, so basically, a king has been assassinated. This woman was in prison, and she used to be like the court's highest assassin. She escapes to prevent her son, who's been hired to chase down these killers. So she's trying to catch up to her son. This is a good friend of hers that she used to partner with when they were young adventurers. This is the daughter of this woman. And they're like, hey, you were best friends with my son, so we need the two of these ladies need to find her daughter to then chase down the son, which they do. So it kind of picks up. That's basically the first issue. But yeah, it's fun. It's like it's a nice little fantasy book, nothing too crazy. I really like Chip Zdarsky. He's a good writer, so we'll see where it goes. It's like a mini series, so it's not going to go like 6 issues. Not that I think it'd be like, whoa, I gotta cut this book. But moving on. Ultimate Spider-Man number 4. So we're now into April, the 4th month of Peter Parker being Spider-Man. Last issue ended with the Green Goblin revealing who he is, Harry Osborn. He then hacks Peter's suit. He's like, who are you? He's like, I'm Peter Parker. So I guess they're now friends, and they go on a double date. Mary Jane and Peter go on a date with Harry Osborn and his wife. Oh, I thought there'd be a reveal there. His wife, bam, Gwen Stacy. What? So yeah, Gwen Stacy's married to Harry Osborn in this new Ultimate Universe. Kind of cool. The 4 back together in some way. And yeah, the whole issue is just them on a dinner date, just talking about the world, catching things up. We learned that, not done this conversation, that Mary Jane and Peter step away. Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy step away, and when just Harry and Peter at the table, Harry reveals that Gwen knows he's the Green Goblin. Peter has yet to tell Mary Jane, and he's the typical Peter Parker. He's like, if I don't want to endanger people, even though his daughter found out accidentally. He doesn't hurt anybody. Uncle Ben's been looking after the kids tonight. Also with J. Jonah Jameson pops in so they can talk about the newspaper. And then Gwen Stacy asks Mary Jane, who has her own PR firm, if she knows anybody who can benefit from some money or something like that. She's got to spend some charity funds. She wants to potentially invest in J. Jonah Jameson, Ben Parker's new newspaper, which is kind of cool. The other thing in this book that kind of twists up the narrative, the Spider-Man mythos is the line, with great power comes great responsibility, comes from Harry. Talking to Peter about, oh, yes, your wife may not know, but the whole system is corrupted. Harry kind of knows it's corrupted just from, his dad working at Oscorp, and how he's got to use his gift for just better things. So I think, though, coming from Harry, though, it's got a different angle, right? When it's his uncle, it's about helping out the everyman. Like, you have this you have this power, you have this responsibility to do the best you can every day. Where just the way this conversation goes, it's more along the lines of like Harry's, like, the world is corrupt and we have to do something about it. So it sounds nice. Like, he sounds like he's like helping the everyman, but there's just this hint of like helping me and mine and my company kind of thing. So kind of interesting. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, issue ends with Mary Jane still not knowing that he's Spider-Man, even though I think that's probably going to happen pretty soon, right? It's got to happen soon. But yeah, it's a nice, fun issue. I love seeing adult Peter Parker, honestly. It's so cool. It's nice seeing him married, happy for once. Like, I do like a street level Spider-Man, but he doesn't have to be sad all the time, right? Give him throw him a bone. Moving on, God's issue number 8. I think, sorry, issue 7. Issue 8, I think, is the last issue. But I don't know for sure. But this is a really fun issue. Dimitri, kind of the, I guess you could say, Padawan of one of our characters. You find out his history, where his parents were astronauts and for Russia, and they went through a portal, like a space worm thing, and got lost. So he's actually been dedicating his life trying to figure this out, trying to find out where they are. He finally gets a hint of it, and that's this whole story is him just chasing it down. Talks to Doctor Strange about it, about getting a hint, getting some help. He then basically finds the gateway. He finds a way to get through and find his parents. He goes through the portal, and he finds the ship that his parents are in, and he brings back, I believe he brings back his mom, just his mom, who hasn't aged. But they recognize each other, and his mom, for whatever reason, passes away. Her age catches up to her. And she's like, your father's still in there. So he decides to go back in, but he leaves a message basically saying, like, if I go through, like, just, let them know. And then it's really kind of somber last page where Wynn has been looking for him. 2 months have gone by, and he finally finds where the door was opened, and realizes he's not coming back. He found what he wanted. Man, great issue. Honestly, this whole book has been fantastic. It's a real shame it's getting canceled, or I guess canceled. Like, it's just not. I don't know if it's the sales or what, but it's got some really cool ideas within the Marvel universe. It doesn't have to tie into anything. Like, I can only imagine this thing, like we see here, there's an ad for Blood Hunt, the current Marvel crossover events. If the book like this had to tie into Blood Hunt, I'm kind of groaning out loud because I feel that would just, like, not be very good. The vampires could tie into this book, but it doesn't matter. It just, this book should not have gone on. It should have gone on, I don't know how many issues. I'm not saying it has to be like a 100-issue run or anything, but let the man tell his tale. Moving on, though, Black Panther number 3, featuring Storm and Killmonger. So T'Challa's missing after the last issue. He went to go do some investigating within Khonshu and Ra's territory. There's this conversation between Okoye and Shari. One of them, there's definitely a traitor within the court of Wakanda. I don't think it's Shuri. I want to say it's Okoye. That's just my hint. This definitely makes you, this fight kind of between them makes you really think it's her, but we'll see. But Black Panther's been working with, well, he's saved basically in the end of the last issue by Storm and Killmonger. I forgot his name for a second. Learns that the Killmonger is Wakandan, but has left Wakanda to just go fight things head on. And then they take him to this temple, and his suit and everything's acting a little strange. And yeah, they just start to learn more. So there's definitely more going on. There's probably going to tie into potentially like, you know, Bast and all the other Wakandan gods from Black Panther's lore. But we'll see. And they find some kind of floating orb thing in dead bodies. So interesting, fun book. Of the 3 Ultimate books, like there's only 3 out right now. This is the weakest. I'm not gonna cut it after 6 issues, probably. We'll see. We'll see. Like a couple years ago, I like dove head first into Hickman's X-Men, and I just read everything, whether I like thought it was really good or not. I just did the whole line. So I'm kind of committing to this right now. So we'll see. I'm not. It's again. We're halfway through the first. Is most likely the first story arc. It's fine. I'll keep reading it. Ultimate X-Men number 2. Everything done by Peach Momoko. This is a really fun book. It's so different. It's very much, it reads a lot like a manga, honestly. It's so much different than like a typical superhero book. There's not a ton of like action, characters are showing up, but it's good. Our main hero, I can't remember her name right now. Hisako, yeah, I should know that. Hisako is still being haunted by these dreams of the Shadow Man and her dead friend, and then this girl saw what she did, and she shows her that she also has abilities. She can charge things with electricity, okay, but then the two of them go to the school where the shadow creature told them to go. I'm gonna call him the Shadow King for now. They confront the Shadow King in a way. They're chased, and then the girl who can do electricity also has like a gust of wind. She also has lightning bolt earrings. So, you know, your gut's telling, and white hair. So you're like, oh, maybe that's Storm. But Storm is also in, like, Aurora Storm is in Black Panther. So I don't know who this is. But still, fun book. And reveal at the end that the Shadow guy, he's got, like, they cut to this house, this dude in his closet with kind of like this, like, it almost looks like a makeshift Cerebo, right? Like all these different charms and things written on the wall. You see Ahsoka in the back. And, yeah, he's wearing a helmet in there, so I went back in the first issue and I don't recall seeing this guy in there, but yeah. Oh, Hee-chan, that's the name of the new girl. But yeah, again, really fun. Like, it's a comic book, but it's a very, obviously Peach Momoko is from Japan, so you know, she's got that huge manga influence, but it feels a lot like reading a manga. It's really good. This is, like, Spider-Man is my favorite Ultimate book because I love Spider-Man. This is definitely number 2. Ultimates comes out next month. I should be getting it, so we'll see how that one fits in. But yeah, there you go. Ultimates number 1 comes out next month. Fun stuff. Last 2 books I got 3rd issue of If You Find This, I'm Already Dead. This is the final issue of this little mini series. This was a really fun book. At the end of the last issue, our hero, she is freed from prison by prisoners to go kill another thing, and she finds out it's a human, a guy who's been there a very long time, one of the first expeditions, and he's been slowly just honestly taking over. He's like, I'm trying to take control. He's trying to build this giant god, essentially, and yeah, she breaks away and she crawls back into the core where she goes back to the body of a giant god she'd seen before, and she literally starts to fuse with it, like letting it kind of take her over. You go through a flash of her memories, and then there's this giant battle of like the dead gods versus this guy's new god. It's pretty wild. And then more dead gods from the planet are formed. They come back, and they basically kill this guy. And yeah, they basically free the planet. Like, she helps free them from his his tyrannical rule. And then she heads back through the portal. She's sent home. And the last page, she kind of wakes up in the middle of nowhere, pours a drink, and she's like, bam. And then you kind of get this little page of like her story, how she released this book, which is probably called, if you find this, I'm Dead. But yeah, this is a nice little fun story, honestly. If you saw this as a trade in the book, like in a shop, I totally suggest to pick it up if you like some cool sci-fi, really good world building, like fun stuff. All right, The Blood Brothers' Mother. This is from Brian Azzarello, Eduardo Russo, famously known for 100 Bullets. It's from the new imprint Distillery, which I got a book called Somna before. It's a new creator-owned thing where they basically creators can do whatever they want. This one has a really good wraparound cover. It's kind of hard to see with the binding, but yeah, basically it's a story of these brothers in the Wild West, in the West. Their family's murdered and they're chasing after the killers. Nice little great setup issue, honestly. Eduardo Russo art, can't complain. He's really good. These two together is awesome. This is basically just a good old revenge story, which is what these two are very known for. So yeah, looking forward to this. I actually thought I had not ordered this because I saw this. I'm like, I'm definitely picking this up, but I'll wait for the trade. But at the time, I didn't know if Distillery was going to be doing trades because sometimes these new imprints, the cool thing to do is not do trades, so you're kind of forced to buy the single issues, which is fine. I'm okay with that, honestly. It just kind of has that collector vibe to it. But by the time Somna was done, then I saw an ad for the trade. I was like, oh, okay, I can wait for Blood Brothers. And then like the next day I saw, a new book came in and I had this in here. So not getting the trade, getting the singles, long story short. But again, yeah, this is a really good Western. It kind of got me in a Western vibe reading this. Like this first issue was so good. I went and like started watching a bunch of Western movies just to kind of keep that vibe going. Yeah, so that's everything in the monthly stack. I did get a couple of free comic book day books as well from my shop. I picked these up mostly because I wanted to see the Uncanny X-Men, the new X-Men stuff. They have a little preview here from Gail Simone. And then this one has a Spider-Man preview, which I think it's like, I don't really know. I don't read the main Spider-Man books at all. I love Spider-Man, but they're just not attractive to me. But I want to get this one because it had the ultimate preview. So there's also a preview for Bloodhot #1, which doesn't tell me anything about what this is about, other than Blade's daughter's there and Dracula, and they're going to team up to save the world. Cool. The X-Men stuff was kind of interesting, though. I have not read the end of the Krakoa era, so I don't quite know. Kind of reading it online a little bit, just picking up what people are, secondhand account, basically. But it's a nice little preview. Jubilee's out and about. She meets other mutants. She escapes some mutant haters. The interesting thing is the school seems to be a prison. That's the big draw. The old Xavier mansion, all the school, Xavier School for the Gift is a thing. And then she has this giant cell for inmate X, who I'm going to suspect is probably just Xavier, right? It's got to be Charles. If you're going to build a prison in the mansion and the biggest cell's in the basement, it's most likely in the Cerebro room. I'm going to just figure it's, yeah. Especially when she's like, you'll never leave this room. Never again. Like, that's definitely going to be her, right? It's either Xavier, it's either Charles or, Eric. Like, come on. Who are we fooling here? Yeah. Moving on. Again, the Spider-Man thing. I read this. I really like the art. Ryan Stegman's a great artist. But I don't know. This did not pique my interest, unfortunately. But Ultimates, here we go. This is what I'm here for, right? Now, I think this takes place during the first issue because when we last saw Tony Stark, Iron Lad, and Reed Richards, who I'm calling Doctor Doom because he totally looks like Doctor Doom with the mask and everything. Captain America was so frozen nice. So he's thought out here. They're broken into a place where the makers kept old like heroes, right? Because he's trying to stop stuff. So you see I think that's the 3D man. You see the 3D man there. You see the original Vision. That's kind of cool. Black Bolt as a child, but killed. Savage Land. He's taken them out. What looks like potentially, I don't know what that is, a helicarrier maybe? I don't know. The Sentry. Wolverine's skeleton. And then the Hand shows up, which we learned the Hand is now an army that the maker used. It's like his private army. There's this cool thing where he, Captain America lights a Molotov cocktail, throws it at this corpse. Turns out, boom, it's Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch. That's pretty cool. And then just some coming up, previews. You see Tony Stark chasing down Pym Pest Control. It's already been like released at Hank Pym and Wanda. Not Wanda, sorry. Hank Pym and Janet are on the team. Reed Richards is looking at some mice that have been like, one is the Thing, you've got Human Torch, you've got Stretchy Mouse, like very interesting. And then a silhouette of all these people. So obviously Giant Man, that clearly is Black Panther. I get two more silhouettes. I'm gonna say this is She-Hulk, right? Maybe. She-Hulk shows up in issue 2, I think I saw in the previews, so that's a very She-Hulk pose as well. Back here, maybe that's Wasp. I don't know. Maybe it's America Chavez. That's kind of America Chavez in the short jacket. Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, oh yeah, and then there's a preview for the Venom War, which I have nothing against Venom as a character, honestly, but the push of Venom these last like 10 years of all this lore and the symbiotes, like, again, it just didn't pique my interest. So when I see something like the Venom War is coming, I'm like, I just, yeah, do not care. So yeah, those are the free comic book issues. Kind of fun to get those every once in a while. And then the last thing I got, just a couple of trades. I got this Batman the White Knight presents Generation Joker. It's a story that takes place in the White Knight stuff, so kind of like this previous one. It's written in part by Sean Gordon Murphy, but it's mostly another team, and this is just about the Joker's kids. They go on a road trip with the Joker, who is an AI now. They steal the Batmobile. It's actually a really fun read. There's some new characters there. Not nice to say new characters, but kind of the White Knight universe versions of characters show up. And the end kind of hints at some other bigger stuff. Lex Luthor shows up at the end. There's clearly some kryptonites. So yeah, really fun book. This one does have a dust jacket, like most of these Batman books. The inside cover is a lot nicer. I really like that a bit more. I'll probably end up losing the dust jacket. But yeah, really fun book. If you've been reading the White Knight stuff, pick it up. It's fun. I like it. Can't recommend the White Knight stuff enough, really. It's a really fun kind of Elseworlds Batman take. And then the last one, the Avengers Jonathan Hickman Complete Collection, Volume 4. There's at least one more of these. There's definitely at least a Volume 5, because I was flipping through this trying to gauge whereabouts in the story they are. Usually I can tell in the end when they're fighting. Who am I thinking? Yeah, you see. No. Yeah, this is a good end. Sorry, when Thor and Hyperion are fighting the Beyonders, that's pretty close to the end, but it's crazy to see all the different costumes. You can tell what era of the of the Marvel Universe is in. And then yeah, not a lot of covers, which is pretty good. I do like the part where basically, yeah, this is close to the end, because this is where Namor basically is like, everything's gonna die. So you know what? I'm gonna just embrace the chaos and reform the Cabal with Thanos. I think, is that Thanos from another universe? I can't remember. I think it's a Thanos from another planet. But yeah, basically Thanos' children, Terex, White Swan, and they just go a-murdering. So yeah, Volume 5. I think there's maybe 6 of these in total. And then after that I'll start, I know for sure, after I collect all those, then the Fantastic Four books start coming. Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four, which is, again, collecting both his Fantastic Four and Future Foundation runs together in chronological order, which is also a really, really good run. It's hard for me to say if I like Hickman's Avengers runs more than Fantastic Four. They're both really good, and they both tie together to the greater goal of the Secret Wars. But then we're going to Secret War, like a ton of the stuff he wrote, even the stuff he wrote back when he was writing the Ultimate Universe, is not this new incarnation of the Ultimate Universe, but the previous Ultimate Universe. He wrote a bunch of books there too. So anyways, that's everything for the month. Pretty good stack, lots of good stuff here to read through. Looking forward to it. As always, let me know what you think. Send me your jeers, send me your cheers, and I'll see you next month.